Check, check. 1, 2, 1, 2.
How's it going, everybody?
Buddha monks in the trunk. Turn the bass up. What's going on, folks? You are now listening and watching if you're on YouTube. We're going to go this route from here on out, I think, with the whole video thing. Peter and Jake Talks Wrestling, episode 56. Yes, that is the 53. 53. The one episode after our 1 year anniversary. Again, if you haven't listened to that, go back and check it out.
Oh, yeah.
This is the homie Jake.
This is Peter.
And yeah, thanks for listening and watching. Again, the YouTube link for this video will be in the SoundCloud description box. So if you want to check out our ugly mugs, by the way, the camera's right there.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Yeah. So you don't just look at yourself. Got to get adjusted to this. I've been doing videos for maybe a couple of weeks now. I'd say as long as I've been doing the SmackDown stuff, so like 18 weeks.
Nice.
I've been doing the video thing, so I'm used to staring at an inanimate object. So first of all, maybe you heard it in the beginning of this audio. That I apologize for those who've been waiting for a Peter and Jake Talks Wrestling episode reviewing both SummerSlam and Raw, but we actually had one all ready to go, but it sounded like crap. I'm using an iPad to do this video now. This is a new toy. I had the volume up just way too much, so it sounded like for those who are listening on YouTube. Check out on YouTube. For those on SoundCloud, you actually get a little sample of what it sounds like. So many apologies. It was an awesome episode too.
Yeah, I liked it. I was kind of bummed that this one went away, but I mean, it gives us a chance to meet up this weekend. I'm cool with it.
Yeah, I actually had to go to work this morning for like an hour and a half.
I actually saw you walking back, man.
Yeah. So you what?
I was driving, and so we live close, man. It's not like it wasn't creepy. I was at my place.
It's really creepy.
Man, it's not creepy.
I saw you, bro.
You smelled nice.
Oh shit, dude! I bathed. What are you talking about?
I was just fucking around.
So, let's stop fucking around and get into this because you got to get to work.
Oh yeah.
And I'm going to the barbecue fest.
Oh nice.
Yeah, I got 2 free tickets, so I'm gonna eat me some fucking barbecue. Nice. And I apologize to all my Muslim listeners. I do partake in the swine. So let's start on SummerSlam. I watched it at your place.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the aesthetic of it first before we go into the actual match. Very disappointing because we were streaming at your house through the network, and there was a lot of like technical issues with buffering and spaces where you could see it jump screen.
Yeah, missed like the camera angles with like missed spots and like jump moves and things like that. It never happened for a promo, which was kind of frustrating. It always happened during the match, it seemed like. So get your shit together, WWE Network. I
actually did a if anybody's on the YouTube page, go back just 2 videos back. I actually did live reactions, and it was hard to actually measure up everything because the lag and stuff of that nature. So I only got like the last 8 minutes of both The Undertaker versus Brock Lesnar and Cena versus Rollins. And that's all I really need anyway. But it just goes to show that the latency issues, something, I don't know whether it was a subscription thing, people streaming. They got a pretty high power. They work through the MLB. It's the same people who do the MLB
I'm not
stuff.
Sure how, I don't know, but it does it a lot. It's been doing it a lot more recently, I think, especially jumping around for like NXTs that I've been watching, and then SummerSlam was real bad.
Yeah, so work on that. So let's go through the card, and the theme. And if you listen to the Nathan Newman, the New Day podcast, that's something we were talking about. The theme was, what the fuck were they thinking? You had a lot of great matches. I mean, I would say the main event, the top card matches were really good. The tag team match, the Seth Rollins John Cena match, the Undertaker Brock Lesnar match was beautiful.
Very good.
But if you talk about finishes,
it was awful. Yeah.
Yeah, the finishes. It was like Coen Brothers, like watching a Coen Brothers film where it's like they would tell this awesome story, but you get to a certain point where the movie should just end. Like after that movie should have ended, and they just keep going, it becomes a clusterfuck, and that's what happened with a lot of these finishes. Anything you want to say overall about
Yeah, the finishes were just real fucked up. Raw was really good, which begged me to have the question, like, why didn't they do some of the stuff they did on Raw on SummerSlam? But we'll get to that in a minute.
And plus, they were going against the NXT. Them having such an amazing show. Like we said from the last one, I think they should separate the two. They should have 1 week. I imagine it's a building issue. It's like fiscal responsibility with if you want to bring these guys to another building, may as well just book it for the entire weekend and do it that way rather than have to spend twice on, say, somewhere else. I mean, I understand it's an economic thing that they can't.
Well, it also helps NXT because all those people are there anyways. Like so like the areas around New York. Like,
but they need to separate the two because I think possibly you start making comparisons, and I don't think that's fair to the WWE, say versus NXT. I know you feel different about that.
Yeah, I think comparisons and like competition just breeds it, and if you're from the WWE standpoint, you own both things, so you own the yin and the yang, sort of. So if you can control the argument, I think the WWE is doing pretty good.
Okay, so let's go through the card.
Oh yeah, we did. We got Randy Orton versus Sheamus. Seen this match tons of fucking times.
Repeat of the opener at Battleground.
Yeah.
They opened the show last time in St. Louis.
Sheamus ended up winning. I don't really have much to say.
Clean.
It was an alright match, and Alexa was the only one who predicted Sheamus to win this one.
Yeah, I mean, it's time to do something with Sheamus in that briefcase. If he, it turns into kudos to Orton. This is the new Orton. This is the Orton I like.
Yeah.
The guy who will. I mean, he's a company guy, but I think since his wellness policy screw up, he's actually been more of a company guy because he's not trying to. He's still trying to be in the favor of the WWE, and a 13-time world champion, and anyone gets a victory over him is a big deal. A guy who's been only with the company, a guy who's he's as much WWE as Triple H. What you think about
homegrown
it?
talent. I would say probably the best homegrown talent they've ever had, purely from starting from WWE up. Natural guy. I mean, we can talk all day about how awesome Randy Orton is.
Yeah, and he does the job clean. Even though he got the victory prior he got the victory in St. Louis, and he also has the number of the World Heavyweight Champion, which is Seth Rollins. He beat him at WrestleMania, and he almost beat him at Raw at the sick RKO. So you look at the situation, it's like, wow, like kudos to you, Randy. I just want to give you props. If people don't like him, I understand, but you have to take it. If you want to give Cena all his props for getting the young talent over. So what I like to think putting over, even though he's winning, he's giving these people limelight. You got to give Randy Orton the same praise for being a company guy and doing what he has to do. I mean, he's still getting paid more than everyone except Cena. So why should he complain?
That's true.
Why should he complain?
And then we have the New Day versus the Lucha Dragon versus Los Matadores versus the Primetime Players, who came in as champions but left defeated with the New Day.
Empty-handed. Fuck this. I still think it was an issue with WWE with dropping the ball with the booking of the tag team division. They didn't have the balls to just outright say
New Day versus Primetime Players.
Yeah, because of that pesky win by the Los Matadores. New Day, the biggest, I say the third biggest act on the roster. They're getting more popular, and to the point where, as heels, they're damn near baby faces. But that got corrected on Monday.
Yeah.
It definitely got corrected on Monday. What you do with the Primetime Players, I'm not sure.
Put them back on main event.
I mean, you still can run with them, but I just think it's time for them to pull the trigger on Darren Young as a solo guy, or Titus O'Neil as a solo guy.
O'Neil's pretty over. I can definitely see a singles run with him, especially how big he is. It's really easy to get him over. I think he's just missing like maybe a manager or something, or just a new kind of gimmick, maybe a valet.
He misses being a monster. And as long as you're going to promote him as this super dad and this guy who's up against bullying and all this stuff, it's going to be a hard transition to make him into like a monster heel going after the championship. But them as a tag team, I think they're great. I just think they're booked. They're booked so badly, and they're not giving any. You can't really invest in them as much because they're never in peril. Actually, they're more the class clowns, and they're not saying bullies. I think bully gets tossed around, but they're never in peril. They're never in a situation where you have to feel sorry for them. You didn't feel sorry for them at any point. You know, that's what's missing. If you're a babyface, you got to be in some sort of distress or peril for us to actually say, hey, you know, get up. You know, pull up the big boy pants. You're going to get them next time, and you just don't get that. And Ambrose has that same thing, you know.
Yeah, to an extent, yeah. And then we have
but New Day with the belts, I'm happy. But
yeah, for sure. We all picked New Day, so we all got a tally for that.
Oh yeah, it's the best decision ever.
Mm-hmm. And then we move on to Ziggler versus Rusev.
Double count out.
Double count out, pretty shitty. I hate double count outs. I think they should give this match 5 more minutes, but I guess that was the idea, is making us want a little more. So that's definitely probably going to be for Night of Champions. Maybe a stipulation, maybe a mixed tag match.
Yeah, it's going mixed tag. It's going intergender. In hindsight, looking at it, I hated the finish, but it was probably the only way because if you want Rusev to be a heel, it should have been a DQ, you know, whatever. But this. Apparently, because of Dolph Ziggler's absence for the movie that they were shooting, that this feud actually still has legs. There's no need jumping to make one person the victor over another. Say that's the mistake that they did at NXT with Samoa Joe and Baron Corbin. They jumped to a victor, and I think, you know, for what it's worth, they could have had more out of it. And the same with here. I hate how Ziggler is being booked as a googly boyfriend. It's stupid. I have no interest in that shit whatsoever. But still, this feud, we still have to wait. It's nice when they let a feud
breathe.
Yes, and, you know, and then sort of develop in itself. So the ending, not so much a fan of, but I do see in hindsight. And granted, we've had a week to sort of digest all of this. We were so pissed. We were pissed going into the last review. But, you know, we digress, and we can actually look at this for more of a, what's say?
Like maybe like just see the bigger picture. Like we already saw Raw. We're going to get it. We're 2 days away from the next Raw. So I think, yeah, we're able to see the much bigger picture, whereas when SummerSlam happened, I was pissed about all these finishes. This is what actually, for me, started the finishes, like, kicked it off. Like, New Day winning was cool, predictable, but then when we started going on to this later booking, it was just awful.
Yeah.
And then we have Neville and Stephen Amell versus Stardust and the Cosmic King Barrett. I don't remember much about this match. We all picked Neville and Amell. And they both hit the... Amell hits... What?
No, well, I predicted... My bold prediction of, like, just fantasy predictions was Amell actually jumping off the top buckle. He actually did jump off the top buckle, but it wasn't like a 450 splash or anything. This match itself was just Amell getting his ass handed to him. He stepped in the ring. He did a couple of... You know, he did locks, and he took some bumps. Kudos to him with a broken jaw and a lacerated tongue. And it was just basically him in the ring. I didn't do a follow-up on TMZ to see what they talked about it.
Oh, I don't know.
But I imagine it got some tabloid press or what have you.
When I was on the Outside Interference with Mark Charles, someone called in and said that he was not a wrestling fan until Amell. Like, the first Raw he ever watched was the Raw with Amell. He, like, was talking about it, and he mispronounced Cody Rhodes. He said Rose. And then when we corrected him, he was just like, oh, that's just such a weird last name. So that's when we informed him about Dusty and everything. But, like, that shows you, like, he did at least bring in one fan that listens to podcasts and stuff.
And that's one fan. So if that one fan... You know, you count that one fan as 100, and then you count that 100 fan as 1,000, and it becomes exponential. So ain't no telling how many just sort of casual fans just sort of peeked in just to see him perform. I mean, real fans, even knowing that he got hurt because he made it very known on his Facebook page. Yeah. And I think a lot of people probably tuned in for the drama of even that, if that was going to be the case. Red Arrow to King Barrett, Cosmic King Barrett, after Amell actually jumps off the top buckle outside and lands on both Stardust and and King Barrett. It was the right thing to do. I guess it was entertaining. I thought it was lacking something, but nevertheless entertaining. Whatever.
Yeah, I agree. And then we move on to Bray and Harper versus Dean and Roman. Bray and Harper, we all picked Bray and Harper to win. I think I completely forgot who won this match.
The Ild, who I like to call.
Oh,
actually, they broke. They were their.
They broed out. Okay.
Yeah, their bro was at 3,000. Their bro level was at 3,000, and the majority of the match, it was Dean Ambrose kind of getting his ass handed to him, which is really weird because that never happens.
Yeah.
And then they finally did the tag, the hot tag to Roman Reigns, and then Dirty Deeds. Was it Dirty Deeds? Yeah, it was Dirty Deeds that actually pinned Luke Harper in the middle of the ring. And so all that was just a happening within that feud. Monday, it all makes sense.
Yeah, and that's one of the things I don't understand why they didn't do what they did on Monday at SummerSlam to change it up a little bit. And also, when the Dudley Boys came out at Monday, I don't know why they didn't do that for the New Day. Like right after the New Day wins, instead against Celebration, that that would have been a great pop.
I think because it would have left nothing for Raw.
Yeah,
it would have left absolutely nothing for Raw. I mean, they treated Raw, and we'll get into it, but they treated Raw like the day after WrestleMania. It was like the closing. Awesome. It was the closing of a lot of stories, and it was the beginning of a bunch. Like just all right, reboot. But before we go into that, that match finished clean, and it was only to be followed by on Raw to continue the feud. Now, I'm not mad, very much like Ziggler and Rusev, I'm not mad at this. Even though we've seen this match before several times, but we have a new element. Oh, yeah.
What was his name?
His name is...
Sloan Dawn?
Braun.
Braun, yeah, there we go.
Braun Strowman. and I'm just saying, like, this match itself, okay, we've seen it already. But moving forward, I'm looking forward to see what happens.
Yeah, then we have definitely a weird lull that we get in the show. Big Show versus Ryback versus The Miz. This match never really got going, but one big spot in particular is the second rope senton by the Big Show. Did not get the credit it deserved.
Oh, yeah.
It was fucking hilarious.
What was the line? Gravity, JBL.
Oh, yeah. Gravity definitely did not forget about Big Show. He felt like a ton of bricks, but he got it done. He did it.
Yeah.
And Miz had us cracking up here where he kept trying to pin Big Show, then Ryback, then Big Show, then Ryback. That was pretty funny. But
that was after like what I predicted would happen. My bold prediction of actually the Big Show getting put up in a shell shock, and then the Miz coming in hitting the skull crushing finale on Ryback, and then hopping on Big Show for the victory. I had the Miz winning because he's such a he's there taking all the heat, but he's sort of the outside. He's basically what he was to John Cena and The Rock. Yeah. Even though he's smack dab in the middle of the feud, it's like, get away, little guy, let the big guys play, and I thought he was going to pull up the victory, but Ryback steals the victory.
Yeah.
After
that really bummed you out, right?
It bummed me out because I go, Ryback isn't supposed to steal victories. He's supposed to take victories, not steal victories. I mean, it was his belt, and after I don't see Ryback, his character himself, someone who fights hard and works his way from injury and overcomes obstacles, to the fact that he picks the bones over someone else's work for the victory. It just doesn't add up. Now, what's to say to come of this? He wasn't even on Raw, was he?
No.
Not at all. So I don't know what's to really become of him, his character.
Or the IC title. I feel like they have nothing. They don't know. I mean, this feud shows that they really don't know what they're doing with the IC title. They just got three guys that are kind of floating that they kind of want to use, but they have nothing for. They put them together, and they expected the audience to care. And even if they do, funny spots or big spots, the crowd's not going to care because we know you just threw these people together. Yeah. But I picked Ryback, so I'm kind of happy about it.
Nobody picked the Big Show. Yeah. I mean, him with the IC belt, I think the last time he had it was his Cody Rhodes feud.
It looks silly.
Yeah. It's like,
And we had the Divas Revolution, Team Bella versus Team Bad versus Team PCB. Team Bad got eliminated first by Becky Lynch pinning Tamina, and then PCB pinned
Becky Lynch.
Yeah, no, Becky Lynch pinned Brie. I'm sorry, and Nikki pinned Tamina. So that's what happened there.
I have absolutely nothing to say about
it. It was a great match, but yeah, like a lot of people have been saying it. They need to get. You've been saying it too, and I agree that we need to get rid of this faction thing. And now that we kind of have everything established, we got the tweeners, we got the heels, and we have the faces all established. Let's see some singles action. Let's see, maybe dissension in some groups. Maybe
you're giving them two segments now. May as well. I mean, you have the time to have a mid card, a mid card.
Yeah, you have 11. I would say 11 divas they work with on the main roster now. They have the 9 in the Divas Revolution. They have Summer Rae and Lana, Lana seems to be slowly getting involved.
But that's another department of the divas, like.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, but I'm saying
the pretty face
with
divas.
11 to deal with, you can do a lot, which is way more than they've ever had. I think that we've all cared about. Yeah,
I mean, hell, you can do a mid card feud, and hell, you can have a tag team division.
Yeah.
To a certain extent.
Well, I don't want to see any belts or anything. I think that's would be a bit much, but. Definitely some tag team matches would be great. Like,
yeah. Well, I mean, a division. I mean, it's a stretch, but I'm saying with all the girls, if someone gets the light, gets the belt opportunity, that leaves 9 divas in the dust.
Yeah.
Waiting for that opportunity to get a storyline. So. I have nothing to say about this match. All I have to say is that my dark horse of actually winning the belt first, Becky Lynch got the pin. So I'm just like, wink, wink. Hey, I'm not gonna say I told you so.
I think we jumped ahead a little bit there. We actually forgot about, I think, one of my favorite match of the night, Cena versus Seth Rollins. It was my favorite match of the night because of Seth Rollins.
Yeah, Seth Rollins.
Man of the weekend, I would say. He fucking... even stepped up a notch from his standards, and it's rare to see the world champion have someone say that about him. He hit the Falcon's Arrow at this point in this match. He did a big frog splash in this match. He did the Michinoku Driver in this match. And Cena was right there with him.
He did an AA that was so beautiful. It was a roll-up. There was a spot where John Cena, the Super Cena thing where I think Seth Rollins jumps off the top buckle. He catches him, rolls him, gets on a knee, picks him up, tosses him over, and puts the AA. But I don't think he put him in the AA. I think Seth Rollins actually landed on his feet. But then it came back. Same scenario, just switched to players. And Rollins lifts his ass up, throws him on his back, and Fisherman carry, AA. And here's the difference and why he was able to pull it off and actually hit Cena with it. Cena isn't as athletic to be able to land on his feet. Once you think about the old psychology of it all.
Yeah.
It's not like Cena's going to land on his feet. He's going to land exactly on his back, but the air that he got on it, he sold it beautifully. I mean, it was I think to me the spot of the night.
Yeah.
And then the Big Show.
Oh, the second rope.
Yeah, and basically the frog splash. That frog splash, because he's so great. Long,
He outdid himself.
Oh, it was beautiful. It landed.
But it was, we all picked Cena, and Rollins won because Jon Stewart came out. I hate this. He came out with a chair. He looked like he was about to hit Cena, giving away the actual angle. Then he looked like he was about to, go forward in this dumb storyline they already have going on with Rollins. And then he hit Cena, so he already gave away the shitty ending of the shitty storyline. And then Cena got the pedigree by Seth Rollins on the chair, and now Seth Rollins is the U.S. champion and the world champion.
Again,
first time this happened since Goldberg.
Again, we've had a week to think about it.
It's awful.
He's still pissed. I would think you'd be happy because, well, the fact that Ric Flair still holds his 16 world title, times. We get it. We know some loose ends and some shit. But it was a big spot. I think it was a very much like Stephen Amell. Jon Stewart probably brought in a hell of a lot more people to watch SummerSlam, not even knowing that he was going to be involved in a match, but just be on the show. It's just like, hey, Jon Stewart likes it. Let's check it out. Normally we're elitist about shit like this.
Yeah.
We're gonna check in what he's doing, and I bet it was a pleasant surprise to see that he got in some action. It made. If you don't know that Stephen Amell got a little bit of like tabloid TMZ like headlines post, you got it with it was the New York Post, New York Times, Rolling Stones.
You got like political.
Yeah, like it was all over the place. So very much like any other big name celebrity to participate. Mission accomplished on the WWE's behalf.
Yeah.
But the payoff was what it was on Monday night. But nevertheless, I'll look at it. Okay, I go screwy. What side is he on? The fact he gave away.
Yeah.
At first, because we all know he has an ongoing feud with Seth Rollins. It's not like he's going to stick around. You know what I'm saying? So we got the right payoff for it, and we're able to move forward.
I agree.
Especially for what reason, I don't know, but I think I think we're moving on to something even greater.
I agree.
But it's for some strange reason.
We have then we go on to a Cesaro versus Owens, a match we were all looking forward to, but I think the placing of it on the card, or the fact that maybe Owens was a little tired from the Takeover special when he faced Finn Balor in the ladder match. I think we've seen them wrestle a lot better matches on SmackDown and Raw, specifically the first SmackDown match. But Owens does win, so I mean it was a good match right there.
It wasn't disappointing. I look back and I go, there was no screwy finish. I think both of those guys worked.
Yeah, I guess for the standard of the show.
Yeah, the curve. I think both of those guys went in and did what they had to do. By that time, if you're talking about crowd reaction, they've already consumed.
So much.
I would say altogether about 6 hours of wrestling.
Yeah.
Say from
this was a very long show, 4 hours, and it felt like 6.
4 hours with the pre-show, and then the NXT. So a lot of those people that went to the NXT show,
they're sitting on about double digits of wrestling.
Let's say 6. It's like 6-7 hours.
Yeah.
Just kind of wanting to reserve energy. For Taker versus Brock.
And that's the only thing that we had left. Undertaker versus Brock. Great match.
By the way, I predicted Owens would win.
Yeah, you're the only one who predicted Owens would win. So you're at a 3, and Alexa is at 2, and I'm at 4. Going into the main event here. So what happened was, if you didn't see the finish...
What had happened was...
It was a great match. I loved how a good spot was when Taker was walking on the ropes, and then Brock pulled him down to catch him in the F5, and then he also F5'd him through a table.
The announce table that looked brutal.
And then he choked him out. Undertaker tapped, the bell rang, but referee Charles Robinson said that he didn't call for it, so we're going to get the match back.
But we don't know that there's a tap out. I mean, we find out in hindsight from the camera angle, you see the tapping and the fact that the timekeeper saw it and rung the bell, and Robinson was saying, "No, I ring the bell. I call for the bell. What are you doing?"
Then Brock turned around and got caught in the Hell's Gate, and then while he's passing out,
the low blow while they're celebrating,
the low blow, then the Hell's Gate, and then he's not tapping out, but he's passing out, and while he's passing out, he flicks off Taker, which is hilarious spot to almost save the bad ending, but almost. So we have 2 screwball finishes in the 2 matches that you really cared about, and they booked it to be kind of a two match show. So the fact that they just gave you 2 screwball finishes, kind of sucks.
Yeah.
But add that with the technical difficulties, and it was just and the length of the show, and it was just kind of a disappointing show all around.
I think again. A week later, I feel a little different. I mean, it's still kind of bummer slam, but not as much of a bummer, say, why they made the decisions that they did going into Monday Night Raw, and even I've seen some of SmackDown now. I didn't want to post Peter Talk SmackDown before this. So if you're watching or listening now and you're waiting for a SmackDown review, it will show up Sunday. It will show up. This is Saturday. It will be up on all the available ways to listen. Fucking Facebook. On Sunday. So I just put that out there. So we go into Raw.
Raw Brooklyn is awesome. It started out with like a real hype because like Taker or Brock comes out with Heyman. Of course they're pissed
Again. It's like basically the same emotion he had after Seth Rollins cashed in on him at WrestleMania.
They say it's not the bell timer's fault, but the crowd definitely disagreed with him. They booed the fuck out of this guy, and he was just sitting there mopey, sitting all in the corner.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. They didn't show him at SummerSlam, but they showed him on Raw.
Yeah, which is hilarious.
And it was like 3 awkward shots of him.
And then we had Bo Dallas came out.
Oh, to pick a fight.
Yeah. Obviously, being real snarky like Bo Dallas was. And Brock F5'd him repeatedly. Left, came back, F5'd him. Left, came back again. The crowd loved the spot. And, R.I.P. Bo Dallas.
Yeah, 6 suplexes and an F5.
Yeah.
I'm sitting back going, like, whose cereal did he piss in? Like, who did he piss off? Either that or I'm going to go out there and get my TV time. Now, I'm really looking forward to the Bo Dallas Brock Lesnar feud. Maybe it'll go right out until maybe Survivor Series.
Oh, yeah, maybe Mania,
Yeah, maybe Mania. I mean, why not book this? I mean, it looks like a pretty good feud. It has legs. WWE, get on it. Because I believe that it'd be a great feud. It'd be better than The Taker. It'd be better than Cena. Hell, it'd even be better than The Rock. Damn sure better than Triple H. I'm just saying. Give me Bo versus Taker.
Bo versus Brock.
Bo versus Brock. WrestleMania 32.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, baby. Longhorns.
And then we go on to the Lucha Dragons versus the new tag champions, The New Day, with primetime players on commentary.
So Woods comes out with a trombone,
Yeah.
right? And they're basically... And we forgot, even at WrestleMania, at SummerSlam... they come out and do a rendition of Jay-Z and Alicia Keys' New Day, New York.
Yeah.
But they do New Day. It was on point. So now they come out tonight with the trombone, and they're like, stars spreading the news. It's like New York, New York by Frank Sinatra, but it's New Day, New Day. It's beautiful. And the trombone, I don't know whose idea was it to bring out the trombone. And who would have thought that Xavier Woods actually knows how to play the motherfucker?
Yeah, he played 2 songs, so...
he's a multi-talented motherfucker.
Yeah, and then you have New Day wins. The primetime player is not as annoying as usual on commentary. They did all right.
They didn't say nothing. It was crickets almost.
That's how I prefer it, because they talked a lot the last few times they were on commentary. And then, surprise...
Wait. And the second song that... when they go into the finisher, the big ending with Kofi Kingston coming off the top buckle, Xavier Wood is on the side playing like the death song, like dur, dur, dur. And he hadn't even hit the move yet, but he's just like dur, 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 dur. And it's like it's just timing. I think the timing, the comedic timing of everything they're doing is so great. Even what they did on fucking SmackDown, you would laugh your ass off what they did with SmackDown. Hell, I'll even spoil it because everyone's seen it. So they come out with, because the Dudley Boys are on SmackDown, right?
Yeah.
And they're facing
the Dudley Boys come out.
They're facing this. Oh yeah. Sorry, we go.
Oh no.
Well, go.
Oh well, yeah. The Dudley Boys come out. And
sorry about that, guys.
No, it's cool. The Dudley Boys come out and gigantic reaction, big New York comeback reaction. It says the first time in 10 years they've been there, and then they take out New Day. I guess we're building to New Day versus the Dudley Boys, Night of Champions. Great to see the Dudley Boys back. Well,
I say this. I have 2 things. It was very unexpected. I think the last, because if you're like a dirt sheet or insider kind of guy, you keep up with the news, listen to different podcasts, whether it's the PW Torch owned to the PW Insider, all that shit, Meltzer, all that stuff. We were all led to believe that Triple H had absolutely had no interest in signing the Dudley Boys, even though Bubba Ray, formerly Bully Ray, in some of his best performances on TNA, was in the Royal Rumble. And we thought we were going to 3D, but we heard nothing. And I think it's probably one of the best surprises in quite some time.
Oh yeah, he's great.
One of the most like
up until
unanticipated.
the end.
But Sting's been. I mean, but we've seen him. We've seen him. You know,
Yeah,
we haven't seen the Dudley Boys.
We haven't seen him since Mania.
Yeah, but we haven't seen these guys since 2003.
Anytime Sting could be there every day, and it's still a bigger deal than the Dudley Boys coming out. That's just.
But you talk about your youth movements.
Yeah.
Well, we don't want any hypocrisy going around talking about how these older guys need to go away. These guys are just as old. I understand it's a return.
Well, it's a breath of fresh air in the tag team division.
It is.
They weren't doing anything with the tag team division, so to give the newer guys like the New Day a little rub, and you said they wrestled the Ascension on SmackDown. So yeah, giving these newer guys, these newer teams that they're working with, like the New Day, like the Ascension, can only help.
It could. I'm just saying, if the Dudley Boys are going to go over on everybody, it perpetuates the idea of the older guys taking away from the younger talent.
Do you think they're gonna go over the New Day?
Yeah, I mean, well, this feud is going to last. It's going to be great. Now, only if, because we need a third member. You think Spike comes back? We didn't even talk about this.
Yeah, that'd be hilarious.
Yeah, because
Spike versus Woods.
Yeah, it would be beautiful. I mean, why not?
Yeah, they've already teased Xavier Woods with like El Torito and things like that. So, yeah, that'd be hilarious. Spike Dudley versus Xavier Woods.
Yeah, I mean, again, it'd be a breath of fresh air. Even more of a breath of fresh air than, say, the return of the New Age Outlaws, because these guys are actually good workers. And they are legendary. They're Hall of Fame. Let's just say they go through this and come to find out they're full time now.
Yeah, okay.
They're full time. Like, they're going to be on the roster for quite some time. And after this run, and maybe they do get the belt, the dynamic of the New Day almost becoming baby faces, because it's undeniably entertaining what they're doing. The de facto babyface in this will be the returning Dudley Boys. And even though the New Day are still entertaining, you have a reason to boo them because you are rooting for Team 3D. You're just doing it.
Yeah, for sure.
Was there something else I was going to mention? Oh, yeah. So what happened at SmackDown is that after their match with, who did they face? I think they faced the Ascension. Mm-hmm. I knew when they said they were going to be up there, I was like, oh God, I know they're going to face the Ascension of all people. And sure enough, they faced the Ascension. But the New Day come out, man. They come out with signs. And one sign says, save a table, break a Dudley.
Nice.
That's Xavier's sign that he's holding up. Big E's holding up a sign that just says booty. And then Kofi Kingston holding up a sign that says hashtag give tables a chance.
Nice.
Give tables a chance. I was like, hey, what a fucking what a shot to the rib to the Divas, like give Divas a chance thing. But it's just what it is. They're jerks. They're assholes.
Yeah.
They have no other choice. But that shit, man, I laugh. These guys make me laugh so hard.
And then we go to the back where Seth Rollins with Stephanie and Hunter talking about the Seth Rollins statue that they're going to give away to Seth Rollins to immortalize him with people like Bruno Sammartino and the Ultimate Warrior and things like that. So that's at the end of the night, they're going to give Seth Rollins this big statue and unveiling of it and everything.
And before that, we find out that John Cena gets his 500th Make-A-Wish Make-A-Wish wish. 500 making him the biggest, the guy who's done the most Make-A-Wishes in the company's history. And I imagine it's so far gone, very much like the Divas belt that Nikki Bella is going to hold, to where it's going to be untouchable. I don't see her.
The only way she's losing that is if she gives it to a Make-A-Wish kid.
Yeah, she's going to, or die.
Yeah, they're going to give it to a Make-A-Wish kid. And then, that's the only way she's...
Yeah.
And then we go on to Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose versus, you guessed it, guys, the Wyatt family. We've seen it tons of times.
The Wyatt family?
Yeah.
Wow.
It was crazy. Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose.
In the same ring?
Yeah, teaming up against the Wyatt family.
God.
Yeah. We haven't...
Surely you can't be serious.
Yeah, normally we have to wait a week to see this match, but we got to see it in back-to-back nights from SummerSlam right to Raw. But there was a great ending to this because, like we already said... this new gigantic man. What was his name? Braun Swan.
Braun Strowman.
Yeah, Braun
I mean, you could have whatever, dude. Oh, Braun Strowman.
Comes out with a black sheep mask. He's apparently they said he was like the black sheep of the Wyatt family, and just chokes out Dean and Roman Reigns. This man was gigantic. He looked like Eugene on steroids.
This guy is so big. He was a gigantic man. He towered over Roman Reigns, who's a big fellow.
Yeah.
He made him look like a pipsqueak. Just a big dude. By the way, you missed out on my Shirley You Can't Be Serious spot.
Oh, my bad, dude.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the airplane.
So can you follow it up?
What is it? Yeah, what is it? Oh, I Am Serious, and Don't Call Me Shirley.
Thank you, bro. See how that works, people. That's called teamwork there.
We did it.
Here's the. I attempted the last time to how big is he? So Braun Strowman is so big.
How big is he?
Braun Strowman is so big that he was waiting outside to go into a building. The people that were waiting behind him thought he was the building.
Damn.
Yeah, that's applause. That's good shit right there, buddy. But yeah, this dude, apparently he has a background, a very slight background in NXT. You find out he was a Rosebud.
Yeah.
And that he was a strongman. He actually won a strongman contest. The only problem they had with him down that he's so strong, they had potential to be a little reckless.
Oh yeah, I can see that.
And even in that spot with him coming in, I was kind of like, this dude is a little too rough around the edges. The way he was handling dudes, I mean, you could call it unorthodox, or you could call it reckless. It looked a little reckless. The way he was hanging, it was like a hanging. It was
wild, yeah.
Yeah, the way he hung both Roman Reigns and it didn't take long for Ambrose to go out.
Nah, real quick. Roman, they kind of had to stare down real quick and everything, but yeah, definitely excited to see what they're doing next. I don't know how they're going to counteract this gigantic man. Maybe John Cena helps them out. I don't know.
No, they bring in someone.
You think so? They're going to have a new Shield member?
Man, I don't want to go into these speculations because we've been speculating who would be the next Wyatt member for quite some time, and we were all wrong on who. It could be this guy, it could be this guy. This is the guy that just came out of left field, right? And it's like the biggest left field we've ever been given. This guy, maybe they got plans for him. Maybe they do have big plans for him. I hope that he's able to hold up in the ring. And not hurt anybody, and get a monster push against who's ever holding the belt. Do I want him with the belt? Not really, but I want him to be a threat to the belt because we don't get too many big motherfuckers too often going after the belt. We just don't.
Mm-hmm. And then we have a Team PCB on Miz TV. And they go down, they're pretty much just trying to put themselves over, cutting promos, saying that they're not just as good as the men they are. They can beat the men, they can beat the Miz.
I won't rant this time.
Yeah.
You missed out on an epic rant. Just this, I hate the message. We're just, they're riding the coattails of Ronda Rousey of this, we're just as good as men type stuff. I'm not big into that. You want to be good in your own right, be good in your own right. But when you start comparing yourself to the men, it's like, no, don't do that. You're wrestlers. We want to watch you wrestle. We will respect your craft, but I'm not going to give in to this idea of putting you over to being as good. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah, Team Bella comes out, and that just kicks off a match. The Bellas versus Team PCB. It was a good match, back and forth and everything. But the crowd kind of turns on it. We get a "We Are Awesome" chant. We get JBL chants. Nikki distracts. Team Bella does pick up the victory. I guess even Steven booking here. PCB won SummerSlam, so now Bella Twins are winning on Raw.
You heard about what happened post?
No.
I'm not sure who posted it, but they went to Twitter. A couple of the members in that match went to Twitter and expressed their.
They didn't like the cheering?
They hated it. I mean, because this is the problem. We were talking about earlier about the Divas. You got to pull back on this hey, we're girls, we can wrestle too, and giving them these, like, we go from like 10-second matches to like 17-minute matches with no storyline, no one going after the belt. You're stripping the identity and the star that each one of these characters could possibly have, storylines of who's going after the belt, this, that, and the other. You take Minnesota, when they turned on them in Minnesota, okay, granted, it was before Brock Lesnar, anybody could have fell victim, but I did see it as a telltale sign to the Divas Revolution basically backfiring. And it's not because of the Divas. This isn't like a lash out at the Divas. It's more a lash out at the creative. So don't get it twisted. If anybody, making a hubbub over, oh man, they're disrespecting the women. It's like, no, we're not disrespecting the women. What we're doing is saying, hey, creative, we like these people. They're chanting for Sasha Banks. We want Sasha. And she's like, apparently she tweeted like, she was 4 hours away just to get a good night's sleep because people were hounding her. Like literally people like hounding her. She had to just leave Brooklyn. She had to leave the state of New York altogether just to get a good night's sleep and have no one bother her. So until they switch it up, and this is what I said before, the backlash of this Divas Revolution is going to get more and more
loud.
Yeah, it's going to get louder and louder, and it's going to be again not at the Divas at all. It's going to be at creative to say, hey, let's talk about the belt. Let's give these girls some identity, and let's get some feuds started.
And then we go into Stardust and Barrett come out, and Stardust just attacks Barrett. I thought this team had a little bit of legs, but I guess they just had no room for another heel team in the tag team division.
Yeah, they got him the fuck out of there.
Yeah, Stardust beat him up, and then Neville comes out to, I guess, defend Barrett, and they brawl a little bit. They tease the Red Arrow, but Stardust hightails it out of there before Neville could hit it. I guess a segment pushing the Stardust Neville feud a little more. Not good, not bad. Kind of surprised that they took out Barrett.
Oh, he's gonna just watching Wrestle TV news. Barrett's gonna be off TV for quite some time. That was him getting written off television altogether.
Oh wow!
He ain't doing nothing. No superstars. No nothing. No main event. No nothing. He's just off TV and he's just chilling. When I saw the headline like him, WWE, Barrett out the WWE, I thought he had like gotten, future endeavored, but they just had nothing for him, and that was a means to get rid of him. Again, Thursday spoiler. You want a spoiler?
Sure.
Kevin Owens beats the living shit out of Adrian Neville. He beats the shit out of him. Beats him clean. Just beats him. So you got this feud going on, right? And again, I digress to the idea that it is SmackDown. If it happens on SmackDown, it never happened, right? But it still goes to show that how they're handling Neville, they don't know.
Yeah, I think a lot of people want to push him in the back, but a lot of people don't see a real reason to push him. Like, I mean, even they've never liked smaller guys. Even when Rey Mysterio had the belt, they dropped him out. So Neville's definitely fighting an uphill battle just even being a part of the WWE.
With the anvil attached to his cape.
Yeah, but I mean, he got the big victory on SummerSlam, so I mean,
I know, man.
Even Stephen Booking, they got to kind of bring him level.
That was a discussion I had with Nathan. Say the potential of Uhaa Nation and things moving forward, having this like amazing talent. His talent's so amazing that they don't know what to do with him. Like, I guess I drew a comparison to Colin Kaepernick and the fact that he was just poorly utilized. I think Neville's going through that right now, and it sucks for him. It really does suck for him. He deserves better than this. Now, I'm not saying like make him a championship contender, even though he has been. A proven contender.
Well, I mean, Neville and Owens might be. I mean, this might play out to a feud. I know they've had a few good matches on Raw already. I remember the big deadlift spot where Neville picked up Owens and everything for the big suplex. So, I mean, maybe this feud does have legs. Maybe it'll keep
He's
going.
not done with the Stardust character yet, though. He's not done with the Stardust feud.
I mean, he beat him with the Mel, and then he almost hit the Red Arrow again. I don't know. I'm kind of getting tired of that feud a little bit. I would have to just be honest.
Well, now that the Cosmic King's out of the equation, I'm done. I was like looking forward to say, hey, I was like, hey, let's see what this turns out. And then it's like, oh, okay, all right. It's like finally getting that girl in bed and coming to find out she's a bad lay. Then
we had Jon Stewart come out to explain his actions. He said he did it because I guess he's a gigantic Ric Flair fan.
He didn't do it for The Rock?
No, he did it for Flair, man. Did it for Flair. And, yeah, kind of stupid. I mean, like, he did it. He came out to help Ric Flair. Ric Flair came out and said, that's not justification, man. You didn't have to help me,
And you ruined everything.
Yeah, records are meant to be broken. And he did ruin everything, man. And then John Cena comes out, says that's not good enough for him either. F5s him, or attitude adjustment, and lays out Jon Stewart. And, that was a little bit of retribution for a shitty ending on SummerSlam.
Hey, Flair is back on TV. Come to find out, he's going to be back on TV for a while, and that was just the beginning. You talk about this episode is just returns and debuts. Like it's amazing. This show itself, you take the go home show to Raw to SummerSlam, it was really overwhelming with like squeezing every piece of storyline within 3 hours, and then you get. In a bad way, and now you get all these debuts and these returns and stuff, and it was in a good way, man, and it was something special.
Raw was way better than SummerSlam. TakeOver was way better than SummerSlam.
Well, they closed the book. I think they just hit the reset button,
Yeah. I think this definitely isn't the road to WrestleMania, but this is gonna kind of get you there. You're finding your keys to the road to WrestleMania.
Well, the road to SummerSlam was a hard one with all those pay-per-views. It was somehow how many
They're kind of in limbo. They were in limbo.
And special, Japan, Elimination Chamber, Payback.
A lot of little shows, Money in the Bank, that didn't really add up to much.
Oh, my God. Mm-hmm. And it's overhaul. But I was going to say, so we're going to see Ric Flair more often, and kudos to Jon Stewart for taking that bump. And that wasn't you just can't.
You should have refused to be in the ring at SummerSlam.
He didn't just get placed down, hey, let me drop you and lay you down. He took a full on AA, and kudos to him. He's no spring chicken. So kudos to Jon Stewart, manning up and actually getting in the battle. I think it's something he's. I'd imagine that was a highlight of his career, taking a bump in a WWE. As big of a fan he is, from the face of the company.
We're going to maybe go real quickly through some of this stuff. Ziggler, Cesaro, Ryback, and Randy Orton face Big Show, Rusev, Sheamus, and Owens. This is kind of like a house show. I think the crowd saw so much wrestling throughout the weekend that the only way they could really get something over is a gigantic surprise or just having a lot of people out there, trying to get some kind of reaction. I didn't really see much to talk about this match. It was a great match.
Other than the fact that the heels didn't come in to say, they jump in and prevent shit. The heels say take the Cesaro swing on Rusev. Nobody came out from the heels to stop it.
They're not a team, man.
They didn't give a shit. They just let him do it. They just stood outside. Hey, he's getting swung, bro. What? It's there was nobody looking out for each other on the hillside.
And then we had a Bray promo introducing the new member of the Wyatt family.
Did you say Orton get the pin?
Yeah, Orton got the pin with the RKO.
On Sheamus.
Oh, yeah, and there was a triple RKO. Cesaro and Ryback pick up Big Show, throw him at Randy Orton for the RKO. It was a great spot.
Something I noticed, the Ryback Owens, that looks interesting.
That would be a good Intercontinental title.
That's an interesting look.
Series feud.
That's an interesting look. So Owens Rusev attack Show at the end, and then the Owens and Rusev attack Show. Basically, what they did to Rusev, what Rusev did, how Rusev was treated 3 weeks ago, and then the babyfaces come in and basically take out the Big Show. They beat the fuck out of the Big Show.
Yeah, Big Show's no love.
Super kick into a double gorilla press RKO. You remember that?
Yeah, I just talked about that.
Oh, sorry.
It's all good, man. Yeah, it was a great spot. And then we have the match of the night. They're getting this gigantic trophy statue in the ring. It's got a black sheet around all the sides on the top, and they're gonna unveil it by pulling it up. Triple H is in the ring. Stephanie's in the ring. A gigantic, too long promo by Seth Rollins, and then
Never shuts up.
right when they're about to unveil it, they pull it up. Sting standing there.
Crowd goes nuts.
Yeah, this was amazing. I love it when Sting comes back. Just to see Sting in the WWE ring,
Dude.
to see Sting still in the WWE ring is amazing. And if he gets a run with the belt, that'd be cool. I mean, even to think that he's in a world title match for the WWE in 2015 is pretty ridiculous.
Spoiler?
It's pretty awesome. Nope.
No spoiler.
Wait, for SmackDown?
Yeah.
What's that?
It's official.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Night of Champions. Sting versus Seth Rollins for the WWE belt.
That's amazing. I think I've said it before that I think Rollins needs to keep the belt till Mania, but I think if they put it on Sting just to say that Sting won it, then to have Rollins beat him, I think that's going to add more legitimacy and a great feud to build to like a Survivor Series. I think.
So to talk about this moment itself, and this is something
gigantic pop. It was like a quiet. It was quiet for like a second, and then like.
Oh yeah, when it unveiled, because in the end, it was two things I thought was going to happen. The statues were either going to be in there, and there's going to be a spot where he gets destroyed. Right, that was going to be the payoff for that shit. Because we saw it. It's like, damn, there's the statue. Now maybe it's not bronze. Maybe it's like the same material they made the Andre the Giant Battle Royale shit. It was like plaster, good plaster work. Whoever the fuck did that plaster job, those motherfuckers are top notch workers, man. If I ever need anything like molded in plaster, I'm hollering at y'all. Shit, I hate to see y'all like at the beach making sandcastles. I bet y'all motherfuckers are Trump tight. Well, anyway, I thought that was going to be a spot, and then B, because Cena gets escorted out because he's, he doesn't want to. He's like, I'm pissed.
He wants to go out to Rollins.
Yeah, because he's like, and they're like, oh, dude, you just fucked up Jon Stewart, man. Like, Jesus Christ, there's no way in hell you're gonna be in this building to fuck with the unveiling of this statue. So he gets escorted out, and I'm thinking maybe he got it inside to get into the thing. So I thought he was gonna come out. I thought Kane was going to come out because he's been off TV for a while since he had his ankle broken by the steel steps. I couldn't think of too many other people that would actually be under there. So when it came up and I saw the bottom, I was like, no way in hell, right? So I had to go back a couple of times because I couldn't watch it live. I ended up just watching it. So when it comes up and it's Sting, like you said, there's this moment of pause where it's like, is that who? Oh!
Yeah, it was fucking awesome.
I go back and I look at the crowd's reaction. My whole thing was like looking at different people in the hard camera to see their reaction. It was so, you could see Gazoon type, my brother. You could see the general excitement for Sting.
Yeah, it was fucking awesome, man.
We could complain about him being poorly utilized, him losing at WrestleMania, not being on TV. But you know what? It's okay when we're surprised by something like this. It's all like worth it. Where it's like, yeah, there he is, man. Like, let's get excited again. Because when he showed up at Survivor Series, when else did he show up?
Survivor Series and one Raw, and then build up to Mania.
And it just goes to show that the vigilante Sting, he's still against authority. It's not like they changed up his whole thing where he's just going to go after somebody in particular. His thing is, if you're on the top, you're the top of the totem pole, you're on top of the hierarchy, I'm coming after you because you're the evil empire and you're going down.
He did it with Horseman, he did it with NWO, now with the Authority. It's amazing. And I think Sting has wrestled with guys like in TNA, like AJ Styles, like Christopher Daniels, so he knows the style that Seth Rollins does, and I think that he knows how to utilize his style and his psychology with a style like Seth Rollins. I think this match is going to be amazing.
Kudos to Seth.
Yeah, I'm not just saying that because I'm a big Sting mark.
You're a homer. You're a homer.
Dude, he's fucking
I know. It's Sting. It's Sting. Hey, I feel yeah, but you unlike me, who, I make my marking out very, very obvious. I mean, it could be to the littlest of things.
Yeah.
You're more subdued, man, and you pick your points where you're marking out. I mean, when it comes to Cesaro, Tyson Kidd, this and the other people, the other, Sami Zayn. You're a Sami Zayn guy?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. But Sting, this is a whole different glow that you have. And yeah, we got this little light here, but like, did you notice it got brighter right then when we started talking about Sting? He has a glow around him, dude, man, when Sting comes out. But the fact that Sting's back in.
I think I've shared the story on the podcast before, but I was a big Sting fan as a kid, and they did this gimmick where it was like NWO Sting versus like the WWE, the fake NWO Sting versus WCW.
Who played that guy, by the way?
I don't know. He ended up playing the Sting character in the Japanese NWO for New Japan. Yeah,
he made a career just out of being fake Sting.
Being fake Sting, man. And I mean, dude, and what happened was Sting came out and took out Ric Flair, took out WCW side, and took out the NWO side, and then just left them, saying like, if you don't trust me, then like I don't trust you, and that's when he started going up to the rafters, and I was there. And that's pretty much why I think I'm a wrestling fan to this day, man. It's because of that show.
Well, and something that was surreal, too, and we brought this up last time, and I hope anyone who's listening or watching, leave a comment in the notes and answer the question. You can, tweet it at PJTW Central or to Ellen Japanese or to JG Pro Wrestling, just to answer this question. What was more surreal? Watching Sting walk down a WrestleMania ramp or him actually holding after that beatdown he put on Seth. And Seth sold like a motherfucker. That was beautiful. And Triple H got the fuck out of the ring. I mean, that's great booking for this guy. Well, anyway, he picks up the belt. Like, that's something that I never thought would even, as much as a WrestleMania appearance, him even being within, like, touching distance of the belt was something that really...
It's fucking awesome.
Yeah, like, it's surreal. So what was more surreal to you? What's more surreal to you? Him holding the belt and now him having a title shot? Now, we're not going to even go into the fantasy booking.
I would say him having a title shot is definitely more surreal than him being at Mania, because, they bring everyone for Mania. They do that surprise pop, get the old-timers out there to wrestle one more time, Mania thing. And then the way he was treated at Mania was kind of like, okay, of course this is what's going to happen. But him one-on-one contest with Seth Rollins for the world title, not on Mania but anywhere, that is definitely way more surreal to me.
Yeah, well, him holding that belt, I was like, oh my god, he's holding the belt, and which even makes more sense because do you remember them doing the WWE Greatest Champions? This is maybe like a year and a half ago, and this is before Sting even showed up. Because they own the catalog, they do what the fuck they want. So they go down the list of the greatest Intercontinental champs, the greatest world champs, the greatest this. But when they do the U.S. champs, Sting he's the greatest, by WWE standards, the greatest U.S. belt holder of all time. And would you think about it, even though he was given like a flawed championship run, he is as much the U.S. belt. That's his belt, as much as say Mike Rotunda with the television belt.
And the U.S. belt is a product of WCW, which is very rare to still have in WWE nowadays. So like to have Sting, wrestling and have the U.S. belt over there, that's very WCW.
But Seth owns it now.
Yeah,
so not only is he going after a belt that he's never held before, even touched. That's the first time he's probably ever touched it.
Yeah.
He's going after also the guy who's holding a belt that he made.
That's amazing.
And I hope they work that into the storylines. Like, you hold the WWE belt, a belt that I've never held. And you hold a belt that I christened. And you are a horrible champion. You team up with this evil empire. You have all this talent. Look at here, young buck. I've been there before, man. And believe me, you're in bad company. Do yourself a favor. Get the fuck out of this and be your own man. Kind of thing. I see him going. It's like, represent the belt that I made. That WWE belt, that's great. But you're holding something that is part of me. I hope they go that route. I really hope they go that route. So, man, we were able to get through both Summer SummerSlam and Raw Brooklyn.
Hell yeah.
In an hour. So he has to go to work in an hour.
Oh yeah.
I have to upload all this stuff. Again, this is Saturday. So if you're now watching, again, we apologize for the late upload because, again, we're both busy guys. He works. Our schedules don't really work out. So when Wednesday came and it all fucked up, we had to just wait to reschedule. I wasn't going to do it without him. I love him so much.
Oh, yeah.
That's my quarterback. And after this Sunday, look forward to Peter Talks SmackDown review. Even though I gave you some spoilers already, I'm looking forward to give you that review. So, any last words? Go to your plugs.
Faster Than World podcast. We review NXT every week on SoundCloud.com/JG Pro Wrestling, and I'm also on Outside Interference every Wednesday with Mark Charles,
The legal man,
Mark Charles.
And that's it.
At JG Pro Wrestling on Twitter, and PJTWCentral.com for all these podcasts.
I'm so slacked on that fucking website. I don't even.
That's cool.
So check it out. PJTWCentral.com. PJTW Central on the Twitters.
Oh, yeah.
Again, hit the subscription button below.
We're on iTunes now, guys.
Oh yeah, So hit the subscription button if you're listening on
or watching on YouTube.
on YouTube. Hit the subscription button.
And then subscribe on iTunes as well.
Yeah, subscribe, share, comment, thumbs up, like.
Tumblr, SoundCloud,
comment. Yeah, we're on all those things. So if you can spread the word, and look forward to seeing more of our his ugly mug.
What are you talking about?
This is beard. This is Peter Beard and Beard Talks Wrestling.
Someone told me that my beard was on fleek the other day, so I was, fuck yeah, never heard that term before.
Man, what a jabroni. On fleek. So we're gonna do this more often, and hit the subscription button always and share. We need more people checking out what we do. Oh, yeah. And on behalf of Jake, you got any last words?
Sings back.
Enjoy the rest of your weekend and watch out for those foreign objects.